In the midst of the Siberian forest lies a mountain range of the most northern part of the Altai Mountains, in a mountain called Gornaya Shorskaya, Shore Mountain, named after the Shore people, a mixed Mongolic Tatar people. There, something big and very ancient was found. It was reportedly discovered in 2014, said to be over 3,000 years old. However, only Russian archaeologists have been out to the site, while everyone else seems to be ignoring it. And this is one more reason why I've decided to go out to the site to see it for myself. Currently, I'm in a city called Novokuznetsk, formerly known as Stalinsk. It is in the region of Kermovo in central Siberia. It is from here that I hired a driver. Unfortunately, the driver told me along the way that he's never even heard of the site. But I'm certain either way I will find it. The road becomes more unsuitable because it is unpaved. And with the ice and snow on the road, it becomes very difficult for my driver to keep control of his vehicle, especially down these steep slopes. Venturing deeper into the forest, I realized that we should have already been there, but I haven't seen anything, and the snow is up to my waist, and even higher in some parts. And looking back at the map, I see a settlement not far away named Orton, so we decided to go there to hopefully find someone that could help me. Upon entering the settlement, I immediately knew that this was no ordinary settlement in what I had just entered into, but I kept these things to myself, seeing how my driver was unaware. We first went to the administration building, but the door was locked and no one was there. So then we decided to walk over to the only store in the village.
Да.
А если что, раньше бензин можно?
Ну вы сможете, они говорят, сопроводить их вот эту самую крутую гору, говорит, а там уже мы, говорит, наверное, сможем доехать.
There happened to be another man at the store who offered to take us to a man named Andre, or Andre in English, who agreed to help us. And as we went further back into the settlement, we noticed some megalithic structures, and I thought those might be where the discovery was made, but I was soon to find out something different. This is Andre's house. He'll explain to where we need to go.
Это на самой верхотуре перевала. Вот вы ехали, то есть 20 километров отсюда. И еще километр от дороги вверх шпарит, и там она начинается. Ну вот, мы можем остановиться, если поедем. Ну, не если мы поедем сейчас, можем там остановиться на перевале. Коптер подымешь, и я просто покажу, где это. Ну, ко мне много новокузнецчан приезжают в гости. Запустить. Вот она один раз перебродила.
They then began to speak about the moonshine that he was making, a common custom for ages in Russia. Here he just wants to show me some of his Soviet things. It's not often he meets a foreigner in the middle of Siberia. Something didn't make sense about what he told me, though. Either my map was wrong or there was something else. My map showed about 7 kilometers from the settlement that there was a site, but he said it was over 20 kilometers away. Now Andre will show me around the settlement and explain to me the sites that are around it.
Вон.
Unfortunately, part of the walls are covered because of the snow. But clearly the site wasn't discovered in 2014, at least as early as the Stalin period, if not earlier. From the top of the settlement, looking back north, from whence we came, Off to the right side, you can see another portion of the wall, partially destroyed. These they call pyramids, because the ruins of the wall have that shape. And just as we were about to leave, the children are on their way home from school. After looking at them and examining them from afar, he then wanted to explain to me some things about the settlement. Andrei explained to me, for whatever reason, thinking I was ignorant of the matter, how this place was a gulag during the Stalin period.
ГУЛАГ — это большая система лагерей. Почти все сибирские и северные лагеря, они входили в эту систему. Начиная от Северного моря и заканчивая Дальним Востоком. Магадан, Камчатка, Сахалин, там тоже. Все это в ГУЛАГ входило.
Ну, кто знает.
Andrei began to tell me some things about himself while we were on our way to the site.
Я здесь заканчивал службу свою. Ушел на пенсию и здесь остался жить. Пчелами занимаюсь, пчелами хозяйством.
Как долго жить здесь?
8 лет уже жил.
Unexpectedly, we stopped about 7 kilometers from the settlement. Why did he tell me earlier it was 20 kilometers, I thought. He pointed me to a mountain, and as I flew closer, I could see more megalithic sites. It is no surprise that the Soviets hid this site for so many years. They destroyed other ancient sites during their administration. It was mainly due to their atheistic Darwinian theology, which states that man was unintelligent and grew more intelligent over the course of time. And because these walls show that man in the past wasn't some nomadic hunter going to and fro on the earth, scavenging for food, they hid these sites from the public. And this wall, whether it had been for some large city or multiple cities, or a territorial wall like the Wall of China, this shows that they had a highly organized system of organizing supplies, labor, and materials, as well as having a high understanding of math, physics, and engineering. Today, for instance, we have many groups of people who live out in the jungles and deserts away from everyone, with little technology and intelligence. While we have other groups of people who live with vast technology, communicating with people from around the world at an instant's notice, and yet more who live in between those two ways of life. Since this is true today, why should we think that the past is any different? And yet somehow, people think that they have arrived to some point, some pinnacle, that they could never lose the technology which they've gained. But this has happened many times in history, from Noah's flood to the bubonic plague, and from wars that have wiped out whole civilizations and everything that they had. Whoever these people were, they did do quite an impressive work, for no other site in the world has stones these big, nor covering a territory this large. Each stone weighing 2,000 to 4,000 tons, and they're so big that it makes the trees look small. While we were stopped, a truck tried to get by us but got stuck in the snow. He was obviously trying to get to the settlement. It took us about 10 minutes to get him out before moving on. While on the road, he explained that there's actually a third site, and this was the site that he was speaking about that was 20 kilometers away, and where the most northern part of the megalithic wall is located. And this was his explanation of the site.
Ну, в общем, наподобие то же самое, что и мы смотрели уже мегалиты перед этим. Только в этом месте такое ощущение, что пластами сложенные пирамиды. Такие же прямо конусы. Не усеченные, а прямо как будто бы пирамида идет. И все, прямо коридоры, ровные коридоры, как будто высеченные. По ним можно передвигаться, ходить. Высокие стены. Надо смотреть, так не расскажешь.
Ну, как высокий?
Ну, скажем так, от 5 до 15 метров. Камень лежит, очень красивый камень, здоровый камень лежит вот на таком камне. Нашел свое место и держится так. Тоже прикольно, надо смотреть. Туда подниматься, смотреть.
Because of the temperatures being minus 20 to minus 30, and because of the amount of time I had been flying the drone, the battery was running low, and I couldn't get to the site as close as I wanted to. But here you can still see it, as well as another megalithic structure further north. The pictures I showed while Andrei was explaining the final site was part of a parting gift he gave me to show me how these megalithic structures look without snow. He said if I ever came back, which I hope to, that he would help me and show me more of the megalithic sites. Hopefully one day some archaeologists will come to discover more about the site and who these people were. Because clearly this site wasn't found in 2014, but hidden in Siberia.